Hare Krishna and Dandavat Pranam everyone. Thank you all for joining this live today. Today we have a very special topic. It's Krishna consciousness in Grihastha Ashram, and we have a very special guest. We have Her Grace Nitai Sevini Mataji joining us, and thank you everyone. We're just waiting, Mataji, for her to. Hare Krishna.
Can you see me?
Yes, Mataji, I can see you.
Okay, you can hear
Yes,
me?
yes, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Radhika. Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Thank you for joining us today and removing some time out of your busy schedule and doing this live for us. Um, thank you, Mataji. Today's topic is Krishna consciousness in Grihastha Ashram. So,
Okay, I'm ready. The pleasure is all mine.
yes, Mataji. So I know you have given a class before like on this topic, but today it's like for the youth and how youth's perspective about marriages nowadays. And I want to say personally, interview I had said that Mataji, marriages should not be like taken as a natural phenomena just for the sake of doing. It's for a higher cause, and for a higher purpose, two people coming together and, for the pleasure of Sri Guru and, serving so many devotees together, bringing souls on this planet so that they can give them, at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and, mold them in a way. So nowadays, it's taken in a very different, just for the sake of doing, our parents have done it, grandparents have done it. So we should just do it for the lineage and for the, families, this thing pleasure. But Mataji, what would you want to say and tell the youth that how important it is to associate Krishna in marriage and spirituality in Grihastha Ashram and marriages?
You're speaking so beautifully. Are you
No, no,
married?
no, Mataji, not yet, but please.
So the person who gets married to is going to be very lucky.
Thank you, Mataji.
All right. So see, I always like this line. Between the couple, keep the divine couple. So unless we have the divine couple in between the couple, marriage cannot be happy. Reason, we are not Sarvaguna Sampanna. We all have some or the other, some weaknesses, some issues. We are not perfect. But between the two imperfect person, if we have the perfect Krishna, then everything becomes wonderful. So if we have a Krishna-centered marriage, where we both want to serve Krishna together and have a higher purpose, then only marriage will work. Otherwise, you see nowadays why the divorce rates are going high, because there's no higher purpose, right? So the whole point is, you don't get married to somebody simply for physical needs. There are so many needs a person has. You have emotional needs, you have spiritual needs, you have financial needs, you have social needs. But if the marriage is simply based on one or the other needs, it will not work. But if we have Krishna in center, just like, Prabhupada always says, put the water in the roots and every leaf is going to, be nourished in a tree. So when we keep Krishna in center, then the marriage becomes very strong. Otherwise, you may be both looking like, you may be both having the same kind of a taste or same background, but if Krishna is not there in center, it won't last long. Just like a building. If you don't have a foundation properly, but you have beautiful floors after floors decorated with chandeliers, but then when there is some kind of a bhukam, the whole building, shatters down. So when Krishna consciousness is in your foundation, And then you add it with other things like good swabhava and qualities, this, that, then the whole marriage becomes very beautiful. So, yes, Krishna should be the center in any marriage, and that marriage can be successful.
Yes, yes, very true, Mataji. And like you said, like of course, seeing like marriage also as a service to the Lord, like seeing Krishna and your husband or your in-laws and the children, and by serving them, you should be able to please Krishna, like not directly serving Krishna, but through his devotees, through his children. That also a concept I feel the youth should understand about that, and not just directly trying to serve Krishna, but through the connections which Krishna has provided us with. uh,
Absolutely.
yes, Mataji. And I would want to ask you that what is the most like the important role of a wife in a marriage, and of course of important role of a husband in a marriage, like respectively.
Um, in the previous time, there were some gender specific roles that women need to do this, men. But I see now, over a period of time, they've melted away. Now,
Hmm.
both need to, protect each other, both need to help each other. So I wouldn't specifically say this is the role of a woman and this is the role of a man. I think both together should have mutual respect for each other.
Hmm.
That's very important. They should have trust on each other. They should have gratitude towards each other. They should have appreciation towards each other. They should have proper communication. So, yeah, there are so many things. Marriage itself is a big science because two completely different independent people come together and have to live together. It's not a small thing. Sharing your space, sharing your things, house. It's such a, because everything from far looks very nice. But when you actually have to live with the person, you have to go through so many things. There is so much that you need to tolerate. Sometimes the devotees tell me, Mataji, this peacock is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Oh, I wish. And I told them that the peacock looks very beautiful from far, but when you actually keep a peacock in your room, after some time you'll get irritated because the kind of litter and the noise it will make. So it's very difficult to accommodate people in our life. We may appreciate them from far, but to actually accommodate somebody in our life, we need tons of patience, maturity, wisdom, and lots of blessings and support from elders.
Very true, very true. And yes, Prabhupada also used to say, like, for a woman to be a good wife, she should be a chaste one and learn how to cook. So what would you tell our girls? They nowadays in the youth, how important is like feeding, like cooking and making prasad for the deities, and learning how to cook. And these are the two important qualities which Prabhupada told you will be a.
If I now put it as it's only the women who should cook and all, I would rather put it for both the genders that if they learn cooking, it's good because you see, whatever you eat, that's what you become. Your consciousness is affected by what you are eating. So whether it is husband or a wife, it's very important that they both learn to cook and they cook in the house instead of depending on Swiggy and Zomatos because we're not sure what content they are giving it to us. And not only our spiritual health, even our physical and emotional health also largely depends on it. I'll tell you a real life example. There was this very rich man, and every day he was dreaming that he doesn't have a residence to live. And he was wondering, why am I getting like this dream? I have a flat in New York, I have a flat in Mumbai, I have a flat in Los Angeles. Why am I always dreaming I don't have house? And he went to a psychologist, but nobody was able to help him out. And then finally, one day, as he was eating, his cook, she shared that, sir, I'm looking for house. My owner has asked me to vacate my flat and I'm looking. And then he understood that because she had been cooking with that mentality, even he got that in his mind. So we need to be very careful. So it's not only for a happy marriage, but in general, if we want to be happy, we need to cook ourselves and offer it to Krishna.
Very true, Mataji. Very true. Like you said, yeah, the very important aspect of life that our consciousness goes inside the food, and we should be very conscious about what we put or what we hear or what we eat, to go towards Bhagavad Prapti and towards, our spiritual journeys going ahead. So yes, Mataji, the next question was, Mataji, nowadays people just see that, chastity after marriage, is very, very important. But I feel that chastity before marriage is more important than, after also it's important, but before it's equally important. So what do you want to say? Because I feel that, according to our previous birth karma or our prarabdha, we had decided where our, who's going to be our Prabhuji, and, how we're going to go. So a certain outline is given to this Manushya Janma. So, but before that, what happens sometimes that, youth nowadays get distracted, and unfortunately, when the right person comes, they're already fearful of certain things in life. So, how would you want to say, tell everyone that chastity before marriage is so important? You know.
So the practical reason behind it is because our body is a bag of memories. So even today, whatever the nose I'm having or the eyes I'm having is a memory. Maybe my grandfather must have had a nose like this or an eyes like this. So since our body is a bundle of memories, if we walk in and out of relationships, we will suffer mentally. So even as a youth, forget about the spiritual path. Let's say they don't want to be Krishna devotee, but even otherwise, for you to be happy, you can't walk in and walk out of relationship, especially indulging in physical relationship, because they leave a lasting memory, and you will get completely confused and frustrated. So yes, we can always, have a very platonic relationship under the guidance of parents. See, in the olden days also, even though they had swayamvaras, where the girl used to select the boy, but then the boys were first initially selected by the father, and among his selection, the girl selects the final one. So they select already the boys who are, from the right kingdom, right lineage, right qualities, chivalrous. So similarly, I mean, if I say this, people will say, oh, that's old fashioned. How can I ask my parents to select for me? But even if somebody else comes in mind, it's always good to consult elders, parents, or nowadays mentors. You have so many mentors in our organization, our senior Matajis who can help us and mediate and help us decide things instead of straightforward going and having a relationship. And then, and then feeling bad about it. See, the whole point is our human mind is not that developed. We will get affected. We are not yogis. We'll definitely get affected by these things. So better to, walk very safely under the guidance of elders.
Yes, yes, and Mataji correctly said, like it also affects our, spiritual journeys. Like if we want to get spiritual souls on these planets for their, spiritual completement, or towards Bhagavad Prapti. Marriage is a union also, where two people come to bring souls which are there, whose spiritual journeys are incompleted. Just to get the human form. Two people are coming for a higher purpose. And before marriage, if you do all these things, those purity also, the purity levels also decrease, and it's just going to not serve, for the higher cause of marriage. That's why I feel it's so important nowadays that we understand the energy which we have inside of us is so pure and divine, and it's meant for one which is already decided for us by Krishna. And if that is done in the right way, it will be so beautiful. Marriage will be so happy, divine, and both the husband and wife will, equally be there, and it will be a lot of happiness for both.
Right.
So yes, Shruti. um, next I wanted to ask that, how, like resolving there are issues like difference of opinion in a marriage. So many difference of opinions, both have different upbringings. They're coming together, and of course that affects the children also sometimes. Difference of opinions of parents. How important is to just have patience, tolerance, and how to develop that patience and tolerance? If you can guide us, or few tips you can give for a happy married life.
I always joke that women are Shakti and the men are Sahan Shakti. So, well, but then actually it's not only men, even women, men both needs to tolerate each other, because we are different people with different swabhava, different backgrounds staying together. We have to be more tolerant. And then the other thing I feel we lack nowadays in marriages is communication. With all that WhatsApp and all, sometimes there is so many misunderstanding because you can't see, you're not seeing the person in his body language, and then you may misunderstand, misinterpret messages. So I feel communication is very, very important. And now I'm just reminded of my one of my favorite story I want to share with you. There was this newly married couple. They just recently got married, and the husband was a little bit dominating. So for everything, no, the husband tells his wife, make my tea ready in the morning. Otherwise, and the wife is like, please, 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 I'll make it ready. Where is my hot water? Otherwise, I will, no, no, no,
Oh,
please, I thought, yeah. And then, so after 1 month, she got completely frustrated and she asked her friend, what is this? My husband keeps threatening me, otherwise, otherwise. This lady was a little wiser. She said, okay, ask your husband, otherwise what? So the next day she was ready. The husband again yelled on her, where is my hot water for bath? If you don't get my hot water ready, then otherwise. And this time she came out of the kitchen and she said, otherwise what? And he said, well, otherwise I will take bath with cold water. This is what I was trying to tell you last 1 month. If my hot water is not ready, I'll get to take bath in the cold water. So it's about communication. Everything can be resolved by communication. Always communicate with each other. Always be grateful to each other. We don't even know how long, you know. You may think, oh, we are just young and all, but I tell you, there's a real life incident. There was this very beautiful couple just recently got married, and they had this little bit fighting over small things. And I used to counsel them. And I tell you, they discovered that their wife had cancer, and within 4 months or something she left the body. And they used to have little fights over, the women have this bindi and they have habit to put it on the mirror, and the whole mirror gets dirty with all the stickering and all. So they used to fight with all small little things, and within 4 months she left the body. And then afterwards, when I was speaking with the husband, I said, how is everything? So he says, Mataji, now I particularly go to the market, buy the bindi packets and put it all over the mirror, just remembering my wife that she used to do that. So I tell you, we don't know how long a person is with us. Be grateful for that association and don't get buggered by small things. Just let go. Everything is a passing phase. View things, with a window of eternity. Nothing is going to last. A little bit ups and downs will happen. And I tell you, if your husband or wife are not fighting, husband and wife are not fighting amongst themselves, the marriage is not authentic. You need to fight over some things, either the AC remote or some, because you will have a difference of opinion. If you're not having a difference of opinion, that means somebody is not thinking. And what is the fun of not having variety? Imagine if your husband is your clone. He looks like you, he likes what you like, he talks like you, he eats like you. Then what's the fun? There should be a variety. You like rice, he likes sambar, you like this, he likes that. So the North and the South Pole, and then they attract. So I always give this example that our life is like a South Indian thali. There will be some pungent, there will be some sweet, sour, so many things will be there. And enjoy the variety instead of, feeling bad about it.
very true, Mataji. And of course, difference, we learn also, we expand also so much. Like get those qualities which we don't have with our partner. Like that's why North and Soul, like South always attracts, like you said. Very true. And Mataji, nowadays, people give up on connections easily. Like, there are divorce rates which are high, and I feel that once you're married, अब हम लोग पुराने जमाने में ये कहा करता था ना कि जहाँ पे डोली जाती है वहां से अर्थी यू नो निकल के जाती है तो I feel that's a sin somewhere down the line. We are breaking our vows and all. So what do you want to tell the youth that why this ratio is going up, and how to tackle with such difficulties, like if we put Krishna in center, like you said, like it will be much more easier to tolerate and to become more humble and become more have more patience. So how do you want to tell the youth that we can?
So I feel that sometimes people make mistake in selecting the right partner also. See, the partner should be, you should select a partner who has the same definition of success that you have. Okay, now if you end up marrying somebody for whom some other things are of more importance and you have something else of more importance, maybe initially when you are new in marriage due to physical attraction, you may carry on for some time, but after the physical attraction withers away, there is nothing common in between you both, then you can't stay long. So the whole point is to make sure what's the goal of your life, and only then you select the right partner, because sacrifices you'll have to make for sure. Nobody can tell me that, oh, everything was fine in our life. No, everybody. See, when there are two rods need to be welded together, you can't weld them like this. They need to bend, only then they can be welded. So everybody needs to bend and make sacrifices and all. But making sacrifices will become easy if both of them have the same goal. So if they have Krishna in center, if they have a higher purpose in life, because after some time, physical things are not going to matter. After some time, you will be bored of it. So now you are looking for something that you have a common interest on. So if Krishna is your common interest, if Krishna is, is your goal, only then the marriage will last. Otherwise, in the present day world with so many distractions, it's not like, the social media and access to so much unwanted content, easy access, I would say. And it's very difficult. In fact, sometimes I feel we should be grateful that even among so much distractions in the devotee community, we are somehow able to stay in Krishna consciousness. Previously they didn't have that many distractions. So in this present day world, just to be together is such a big achievement.
Very true. Yes, Madhavi, and that's why it's important to bring in spirituality in whatever we, you know. So yeah, rightly said. And Madhaji, according to the scriptures, what is the significance of marriage, and how an ideal husband and wife be according to the scriptures? You know, can you just elaborate something on that?
So it's
What?
like this. According to our scriptures, a wife is Ardhangini. She's Dharma Patni. So whatever spiritual processes that you follow, you need her support. That is why you see even in Ramayana, we see when Lord Rama banished Mother Sita, and when he had to perform a yajna, he actually made a golden murti of Sita Devi, because you cannot perform any rituals without the support of your wife. And then, of course, that's the spiritual part of it. And also, you see, the goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. The goal of life is to be Krishna conscious. So now, this way, some people, can do it alone by renouncing everything, but not everybody can do it. They need a partner, just like you have a partner in crime. You need a partner in spiritual life who will support you, help you. Because, not everybody can control their senses, but at least when they get married, then they can indulge in a limited, restricted, proper way, and at the same time help each other over a period of time to come over those weaknesses, and hand in hand go together, ahead in the path of Krishna consciousness. In fact, people in the whole world may have appreciation for you, may have flattering words for you, but then there's only one person in your life who will give you the actual picture, and that's your husband or that's your wife. They will actually give you the real picture. So I feel marriage is like carrying a portable mirror with you. All the time they show you who you are, who the real you are. And then there is somebody like a police patrol, always looking at, I don't think you completed your rounds today. I saw you were sleeping. Did you attend the Bhagavatam? So, it's like, and even when the husband or wife listen something nice in Bhagavatam class, they will immediately say, did you listen that? That was for you. So it's like, a spiritual way helping each other. So it's such a wonderful thing. And I also feel that, once is you read Bhagavatam, you hear Bhagavatam,
Mm.
but that's theory. But marriage is a practical lab. Just like, in science, you have chemistry and physics theory classes, and then you go to the science lab and have a practical class. So, you are learning so many things about Tikshava, Karunika, tolerate, do this, do that. But if everybody around you is very nice and all, you can't do it. But in marriage, oh, you'll really get tested by your husband, you'll get tested by your wife, and then you'll actually understand, is it? Am I able to develop those qualities written in Bhagavatam? Am I able to develop those qualities in Bhagavad Gita? Am I tolerant? Am I appreciative? Am I kritagya? Do I have gratitude? Am I being able to be sama? Do I have jealousy on others? Do I have envy? Everything, you'll get a picture.
Correct, Mataji. And like you said, like after Saptapadi Vidhi and after the Panigrahan Vidhi, they become like one, It's like Ardhanareshwar, Jaise Shivji and Mata Parvati. So you always need someone who you pushes towards Krishna, And I've like heard in a lecture, some this thing had come that a wife, how to select a wife, or like how a wife is a good wife is not like based on her looks or her external things, or whether she's a good cook, whether she's a good good looking person. But what is a good wife, who is a good wife, is that she brings you towards Krishna. She pushes you towards Krishna and pushes you to become better version of yourself. And similarly for a husband as well. The main goal of life is that Maya Devi is so strong that you may get distracted, but both of y'all are coming on this beautiful journey for the higher cause. Is just lovely, like just push each other towards.
When you said this, I'm reminded of one example of Prabhupada. He was saying that, when the armies, they are in war, and imagine they are like, shooting each other. So what do the army people do? They have these racks, they have this barricades or some cement bags or something behind which they hide, so that they will be saved. Similarly, marriage is like that. If you're just all alone without a partner, Maya has full access to shoot you. But then if you have a wife or a husband, it's like, a safety guard. So they will protect you from the attacks of Maya. Whether it's your husband will protect you, it's your wife will protect you. What's happening, Prabhu? What happened? Where you are? What are you doing on your phone? There's somebody all the time checking on you. So it's such a good.
Yes, Mataji. And yeah, earlier though, Srila Prabhupada used to, tell his devotees, this person should get married, and there's such a higher cause behind that marriage. We have heard examples where Mataji was told to get married to a Prabhuji, and then they have done such great, services towards.
I'm reminded of this one Mataji, I don't know why I forgot the name, Prabhupada disciple, and she got married because of Prabhupada's instruction. And then she called her mother, the previous ashram mother, Mom, I got married. So she asked, what is your husband's name? So she said the initiated name, okay, but what is his actual name? Then she said, can you hold on? I'll just ask and come back. And his mother was surprised. You got married to somebody, you don't even know his name, full name. So that much faith they had on Prabhupada, and that much faith they had on, what are we here to achieve, as a couple, to serve Guru and Krishna. That was their goal.
That was their goal. And yeah, but it was such a beautiful time where Prabhupada was there. Nowadays I think so it's so much of Maya Devi is there and we're distracted. It's just we have forgotten the higher cause of why we're coming together, and that's why I wanted to do this session with you, Mataji. And yeah, it was. I want to ask you, Mataji, that do you have any, we always end, or we always do a session where we discuss about a pastime of the Lord, or Radharani, and what do we learn? Because there is, when we hear pastimes of Krishna, we purify our hearts and our minds. And so can you just tell us a beautiful pastime where you feel we can hear and we can relish it?
Okay, I can share some pastime of Krishna. But then you said something before asking me this. You said, what can we learn from that pastime? So I just wanted to clarify. Sometimes we should hear pastimes just to enjoy the pastimes. Otherwise, sometimes we are like, what is in there for me? What is in there for me? What is in there for me? Right? Now, I always tell the devotees that imagine if there is a relationship between a boy and a girl, and the boy keeps talking about himself, himself, himself. And then he never gives an opportunity to a girl to talk about him. That relationship will not last. Sometimes in our relationship with Krishna also we become like, what can I learn in this pastime? मेरा इसमें क्या है? मैं इससे क्या सीखूंगा? It's not always about what we are learning. It's sometimes just to be in Krishna's space. That's it. We just want to be in Krishna's space and just be there, just enjoy the pastime and be happy. And I'm not saying always we can have one kind of pastimes. We should have both. Sometimes, yes, we learn, and sometimes we just want to be there. We just don't ask Krishna, what can I learn from this pastime? We just say, Krishna, we just enjoyed this pastime. That's it. One of my favorite pastimes of Krishna, which I like, I like more of his childhood naughty pastimes. And I'm not a big fan of his pastimes where he kills asuras. I'm a mother of two sons, and my sons enjoy those pastimes. They like all that fighting, Of course, now they're all grown up, but when they were young, these were the pastimes they used to like, Bakasur and Aghasur and how he killed. But I like the naughty pastimes of Krishna. So there's this one pastime which I really love is, you know, um, there is this gopi called Sundari. She's 5 year old, and her mother is boiling milk. So her mother says, Sundari, I want to boil the milk, but I need to get the fire. In those days, there is no matchbox. So I need to get the fire from the next house. So till I get the fire, can you just keep looking at the milk? Sundari says, Mother, what's the point of going on looking at the milk? She says, No, you don't know. There is a black cat. The black cat may come and, drink the milk. She said, Really, Mother? There is a black cat I need to worry of? Yeah, yeah. So she's just looking at the milk, and Sundari's mother, she goes to the next house to get the fire. And when she goes to the next house to get the fire, see, those days the gopis are Brajavasis, they are Krishnamaya, right? Bodhayante Parasparam. If they meet each other, they only talk about Krishna, think about Krishna, speak about Krishna. So as soon as Sundari's mother goes, she starts speaking with the other gopis. So what's up? You know what happened the other day? Krishna came and he was teasing me, and this is what he did. Oh, this is nothing. You know what Krishna did when he came to my house? So they both went into deep discussion, and they forgot that she had come to take the fire. Meanwhile, Krishna enters the house. Hey, Sundari, what are you doing here? Oh, Krishna, I have to take care of this milk my mother has given. Oh, why is that? Oh, you don't know? There is a black cat. This black cat may drink the milk. Now Krishna understood, so they're trying, she's referring to me. I am the black cat. I'll teach a lesson. So she says, okay, Sundari, I forgot to tell you. Actually, when I came here, I saw a bangle man. He was selling beautiful bangles, blue color, red color, yellow color, green color. And I was reminded of you. So why not you get them for you? Then she said, how can I get? My mother has gone to the, oh, don't worry. I will take care of the milk. You go and call your mother. So Sundari goes to call the mother. Meanwhile, Krishna drank the milk and all. Now she goes and she's, pulling at her mother's sari. Mother, mother, mother. And mother is so busy in the conversation. She says, Sundari, don't disturb me. Don't disturb me. After 10 minutes, she says, Sundari, why are you here? You were supposed to take care of the milk. What are you doing here? No, mother, that don't worry. Krishna is taking care of the milk. I came here because I want to buy bangles. Now this gopi understood, oh, Sundari, what did you do? So she runs, to see what's happening, and Krishna is already gone. And now Sundari is crying, Mother, I want bangles. Mother, I want bangles. So what the mother does is she takes out her own bangles, whatever she had, diamond and gold and all, she gives it to Sundari. Now stop crying. Meanwhile, Krishna again comes. And now this time Sundari is sitting in the corridor, and showing her bangles. And Krishna says, hey, Sundari, you have many beautiful bangles, I see. Yeah, yeah. Oh, let's play a game. I will become a bangle man. Give me all your bangles. And I will take those bangles and I will move around and I'll say, bangle man, beautiful bangles. And then you can come and purchase from me. How is the game? Oh, that's very wonderful game, Krishna. Take all the bangles. So she gives off all the bangles to Krishna. And Krishna says, let me take a round and come back, like a bangle seller. He said, okay, fine. But Krishna takes the bangle and runs away and never comes back. Now Sundari is crying, where are my bangles? So she tells her mother, look, Krishna has taken away my bangle. Now this gopi gets very angry. Krishna is, too mischievous. He drank the milk, now he took away the bangles. So she takes a stick and she starts running behind Krishna. So this is actually a real story narrated by one of the Alvars in South India. So he says that when Krishna saw the gopi running behind him, then he runs all all the way down, Sri Rangam. And then he lies down there in the form of Ranganath. And the gopi is running behind. And the gopi says, oh, just because you change your form and sleep, do you think I won't recognize you? You are the same black fellow. And I can see that on your stomach. In fact, if you even today you go to Ranganath Swami temple, you can ask the pujari, they can show you there is a mark on the stomach of Ranganath where Yashoda Mata had tied him during the Damodar Leela with a rope. There is a mark on his stomach. And Krishna used to always hide that mark from his friends because they used to say, look at that fellow, mother tied him, look at that mark on his stomach. So Gopi says, can't I understand the stomach mark? You are the same Krishna get up. And then Ranganath, he runs and goes to Jagannath Puri. And there he's sitting there, with all that prasadam. And then Gopi says, hey, so just because you have changed your form here, don't you think I'll recognize? I know it's you. Who except you will eat so much, So you are Krishna, I'm not going to leave you. And then he runs and reach Pandharpur. So there, Krishna stands with that two hands on his waist. So he's actually breathing there because he's been running. And he's just looking that has the gopi come, And then she's like, oh, you are here. I'm not going to leave you, you are had it. And then Krishna runs, reaches Tirupati, Balaji. And there the gopi has to stand in queue because there are thousands of people. And somehow she comes and says, oh, I know it's you. And then he runs. So the whole pastime goes like this. And finally, Krishna reaches the Gandaki river. And there he changes into Shaligram Shila. And now the gopis are able to recognize, where did my beautiful Krishna go with his flute and all, So that's how the pastime happens. That and he says in his sweet bhava that is why Krishna took so many forms just to escape from the beatings of the gopi. So this is one of my favorite pastimes. Whenever I travel around and I just go to different tirtha stans, and I just try to, engage myself in this pastime. Oh yeah, Sundari's mother is running behind Krishna, and here our little Krishna is hiding as Ranganath, sometimes hiding as Balaji, sometimes hiding as Pandarinath, sometimes hiding as Jagannath. But this is our Vrindavan Krishna, right?
That's what like Krishna adheen ho jata hai, jo devotees hai. Only a devotee can bind Krishna, or you can say, with love and affection. And that's
Yes.
how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not him. He's just like a Kanhaiya, or, the Krishna from Vrindavan for all his devotees. And love is what he wants, Mataji. It's that he has everything in all shape and forms, whatever he needs. But it's just the affection which we should activate. And everyone does have that love and affection towards Krishna. It's just we have to switch that switch on karna hai. Because we're coming from him, naturally we'll obviously have love towards Krishna. That's why we should help everyone, push everyone towards Bhagavad Prapti and towards, going towards Krishna. So thank you for this lovely pastime, Mataji. It was a beautiful pastime. And lastly, my last question was that you have had a beautiful marriage of so many years. What have you learned from Prabhuji and vice versa? And what do you want to tell the youth today? That was the most important root of a marriage, which is either trust or um, uh, what is the most important root and the base where the foundation is built on? And what have you learned in your marriage of so many years? So, yeah.
I'll, I'll share with you that. And as you asked me this question, I'm reminded of one very nice joke. There was this husband and wife who were celebrating their 50th marriage anniversary. So everybody started asking, what is the secret of, 50 successful years of marriage? Then the husband said, very simple. We both have decided among ourselves. My wife will make all the small decisions in life, and I will make all the big decisions in life. I don't interfere in her small decision. She does not interfere in my big decision. They said, this is wonderful, but what are the small decisions that your wife makes? Well, she decides where we are going to purchase the flat. She decides which school our children will study. She decides what we'll do with the salary money. She decides where our investments will be. Hold on. If she makes all this according to you, small decisions, then what are the big decisions that you make? Oh, when I read the newspaper, I tell my wife, I don't think Narendra Modi should have done demonetization. And my wife agrees to it. So the big decisions I take, the small decisions my wife takes. So I was just thinking that how beautiful is the way you look at things, just need to let go. Don't make a big thing about. See, the other point is, I feel when you have nothing big to do in life, then every small thing will become big. But if you have a bigger purpose in life, then you will be able to make small sacrifices. We have been married for 28 years now. So
Jay.
another 2 years, and yeah, we'll complete 30 years of marriage. And I feel the success. I always tell this. I'm a Gujarati. My husband is a Bengali. So I always tell them, West Bengal and Gujarat, and beach mein there is Vrindavan. Because there is Vrindavan in between. Because we both have this higher purpose. Yeah. We both want to serve Krishna. We both want to serve Srila Prabhupada. And for that, small things hota rehta hai, but, we don't bother about it and we keep going because, see, when you're getting higher pleasure, then small pains, you can just let go them. And my message for everybody will be is that um, just let go small things. See, to create a relationship, you need to give. To sustain a relationship, you need to forgive. Forgive and forget. Don't keep any grudges. Everything is going to pass away. When you keep that higher goal of Krishna consciousness, then all the small things you'll be able to give up. There was this very interesting book that I had read in my college days, When the World Collides. This story was how about it's a fictional story that the scientists make an announcement that within 2 months the whole earth planet is going to be destroyed because there's one big other planet coming closer to it and it's going to clash. So initially people did not believe, but after a few days they saw, yes, there is a big red color globe coming very closer to earth. So now everybody's behavior changed. People thought anyway we are going to die. So when people thought, I've given this person loan, but what will I do by returning, getting the money back? Okay, you can keep the loan. In the restaurants, people thought all the grocery anyway it will get wasted. So they stopped charging people, okay, come and eat free food. Then people were released from the prison. Anyway, they're going to die in 1 month. Let them get connected to their family members. And those children who were, now became NRIs and have left their parents, they came back. No, we should spend some quality time with our parents. The whole world became such a beautiful place. People stopped locking their houses. जो ले जाना है ले जाओ, क्या करेंगे 2 महीने के बाद तो सब मरने ही वाले हैं. And the whole world became so beautiful place. Everybody was loving each other. But then, lo and behold, that planet which was coming closer to Earth started drifting away. And the scientists said, no, now Earth is not going to be destroyed. Everything is safe. Then again, people came back to their original natures. Ye mera hai, ye tumhara hai. And then I was just wondering that when we see things in a picture of, the higher picture, then the small things will be like, jane do. But then we think that I'm going to eternally live here. Then only we have all these problems. How can I compromise? Why should I compromise? But when we really believe it that we are temporary in this world, then we would like to be very loving with everybody, sacrifice, compromise, tolerate, give love, affection, compassion to everybody. So yeah, there are so many such things. So the whole point is, it boils down to Krishna consciousness. And I feel for husband and wife to have strong relationship, they should read together. Very important. Every day, like a 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just read together any particular chapter of Bhagavatam. Chant together, read together. There is a saying now in English, a family that prays together stays together. That's it. If they read together, they'll get blessings of Prabhupada, Krishna, and everything will be wonderful in their life.
Yes, very true, Mataji, like you said. And yeah, life is too short for, holding grudges, and it's too, like, I feel, I met my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, and, there was a deity which was standing, and Krishna was, standing, and his hand was on his hip, and there was a clock behind Krishna. So Maharaj just told me, every second is passing, and Krishna is eagerly waiting for us, you know so I feel more than we want to go Godhead, Radharani and Krishna are like eagerly waiting for us and crying for us that I want our children. That's why so many our acharyas are there, our Guru Maharajas are there. Krishna has sent them from Golok just to bring us. And they are doing so many services, Mataji, so many preaching services, and our Guru Maharaj are accepting so many people and souls, taking their sins, making them their own, and suffering, health wise, and so many, compassionate beings Krishna has sent, souls have sent, like from Golok, and even Prabhupada was from Golok, and they don't need to leave that divine association of Krishna and Radharani and come here for us to take us back home. But still, they are doing it for Krishna's love, for Radharani's love, and we should just see that these small, small things in our life are just merely for, just let it go and take a picture which is like, see our Guru Maharaj and so many of you, Mataji, like so many servants like you and all of us are doing so many things. So,
When
yes.
we talk about Param Pujya, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, there's one thing I want to share, which I so much like. There was this one devotee who once asked Maharaj that he was having a particular issue in a particular temple, and then immediately Maharaj asked him that in that temple, do they have Mangalarti? So yes. Do they have Sandhya Arati? Yes. Do they have Darshanarati? Yes. Do they do Puri Prabhupada Puja? Yes. Do they eat prasadam? Yes. They offer the bhoga to deities? Yes. Then Radhanand Maharaj said, how come you didn't see all these good things that they're doing? And you're just pointing out on that one wrong thing that they're doing. And, I liked it so much. I always, share this with everybody. The Maharaj so rightly said that, look at the good, We have this tendency of immediately looking at the bad, And this example is all the more relatable to our topic today in the Grahastha life, to have a ideal marriage life. Stop looking at what we are not agreeing. Let's start with what we are agreeing. And then and in not only marriage, in every relationship, there will be two transactions. There will be deposit and there will be withdrawals. But we always want only deposits, only deposit. Doesn't happen. Sometimes there will be a withdrawal also. So when we are having a relationship, we should be prepared for both, and always look at the good side. Count your blessings instead of counting what the other person lags. In fact, you know what, Radhika, when I do these Grihastha sessions, one exercise that I ask them to do, I tell husband and wife, both of them separately, write down all the good qualities that you are expecting in your husband. And I ask the wife, write down all the good qualities that you want, And I tell you, they become so eager. Really? That means Mataji is going to make my wife do all these things. And they write, they write, write. And when I tell the time is over, they'll say, Mataji, 1 minute, एक और minute, बस हो गया, हो गया. And they write the whole big list. And now they're like, they do? Shall I give it now to my wife? And I said, no, 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 no. Now you read it. How many of these qualities you have in you yourself, before handing it over to your wife, and then they are wondering why did I write such a big list, So it's like that. We're always looking that they should serve me, they should help me, they should develop good qualities. But what about an introspection? I mean, we feel we are tolerating the other side, but actually maybe they may be tolerating us, Like Prabhupada always said, right? There was this one person who said, Prabhupada, how can I tolerate this guy? And Prabhupada said, just the way I'm tolerating you. So yeah, people are tolerating us. We may be even thinking, I'm tolerating, or kitna sahan karo. Many times, Mataji so Prabhuji they come and say, or kitna sahan karo. And I tell them, who knows, aapko kitne log sahan kar rahe hain? So we have to have that right introspection.
Yes, yes, very true. And yeah, Mataji, marriage is like, when two people come together, the wife ke liye, her husband is like the representative of Krishna, and for the husband, Maharaj is the representative of Krishna. So that's how we are connected to the parampara. And these small, small things in life will, I think, so we just have to go. That's why I let it go. That's why I said, our Maharajas, our Guru Maharajas, our Acharyas are doing so much. They don't need to come from Golok to do this, but still, if they are doing so much for us, we should just, at least try to serve with all our hearts, and put in lots of efforts and love towards serving each other. So thank you, Mataji, for today's session. I know you are very busy with so many services, but you took out time for us. And thank you for joining. I hope I could connect with you sometime in person. Uh,
It was my pleasure. I really had a good time talking to you, Radhika Bhattiji. It was really wonderful. I'll be very happy to connect with you in future.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.